Hey, how you doing out there? I'm probably too loud again. I'll try to stand back. Maybe it won't be as loud since I have this big roaring voice of mine. Hello to all you Dell fans and Swifties and whoever else is a real big fan of me. Anyway, today's show I'm going to show a few more Beatle things because I always talk about having a little connection to the Beatles of somewhat in my presenting this show of Dell's record collection. This is some things I picked up that I'm very cool about, and I think you should get them too. Of course, the Beatles, after Now and Then, put out the two record set, 62 to 66, and 67 to 1970, or is it 69? No, it's 1970. It goes to 1970. I got the blue one, I just don't have it with me. There they are, the Beatles, with all the new songs that they added to the collection. So get my fingers off of it. You can see that. That's pretty cool. And I talked about this one, but I thought I'd show it again. I'm probably going to show it several times, I still have to listen to all the tracks. Good as Gold. Artifacts of the Apple Era. From 67 to 75. That's about the length of time that the Apple Records was around initially. Now they're back, of course, making money and everything. Here's the back. You get a ton of shit on here. Excuse my French. It's hard to see with that. Anyway, it's a nice record set. It's got the group Grapefruit, which I was trying to find because I can't find them anywhere else. If you want to find them, it was like one of the last Apple sign-up bands after Badfinger and stuff. This is a new item that you might be interested in. It's a soundtrack to a book about Allen Ginsberg. I don't know if you can see that. It's called Material Wealth. I still have to get the book. This is the soundtrack to it, or things that belong to it. What's the cool thing about this is if you were interested in getting that Beatles or the Paul McCartney collaboration with Allen Ginsberg on the collectible Paul McCartney thing, this is another way to find it. I was really surprised to see it on there. It's called The Ballad of the Skeletons. Damn, if I can get it focused in. The Ballad of the Skeletons with Paul McCartney, Philip Glass, Lenny Kaye from Patti Smith's band, Mark Ribot, David Mansfield, words by Ginsberg. It's music by Ginsberg, Philip Glass, and Paul McCartney. Let's see what there's another Beatles kind of thing on here too. Oh, let's see. I'm not sure what it was. There's one other track where he mentions Ringo or something, or one of the Beatles was there at one of the readings or something. Jeez, I forgot which one it is. I don't know. It's a great CD put together by Pat Thomas of Absolute Grey. He put the book out and the CD to go with it. Or he helped out with the project. Next one. This is a real big surprise. Brian Epstein's other group, before he passed away, The Circle. Back with a new CD. The same original members. The Circle and a couple new guys. And don't laugh because you think they're old guys, blah, blah, blah. They redid some of their songs, sometimes better than the first time they put them out. This is the back of that Circle. It opens up. It's not really a gatefold, but it has all the information on the inside. It's hard to see. They were known for Red Rubber Ball and what's the other one? Turn Down Day, with the sitar sound to it. A little bit of I would call them in between a Beatles connection and Paul Simon, because Paul Simon wrote a couple songs for them just as well. Also, James McCartney's got a new song out. Here's an old James McCartney CD I sent away for. It's got some interesting songs on it. These are from his EPs, Available Light and Close at Hand. He actually does a version of Old Man by Neil Young on the first CD. I guess he, put them all on one thing. And one's, this is Available Light, and the other one is Close at Hand. As you can tell, he kind of did the photograph for that. And they're making a big deal out of how James McCartney played with one of the Lennons, what's his name, Sean Lennon, that he played on a song that they're plugging right now. But actually, he did a song on this thing with Sean Lennon. This is a soundtrack to Alter Egos. I got this at our local house of guitars. It was like the last one left. It's like a superhero type movie, which I have no idea what it's about, but Alter Egos, and Sean Ono Lennon does the soundtrack. It doesn't open up. I thought it did. But he does one song with James McCartney on there. You just have to find it. And of course, this is a little bit old now. Not too old, but this is Jude Lennon. Picture of him when he was a kid. Julian Lennon. His name is Jude also. There's inside of him on looks like a couch with his guitar. This is a pretty good album. It's not, I can't really say it's Beatlesque. It's, he was Beatlesque when he started, or Lennon-esque, but this is more of like himself. You just have to catch a few tunes. I guess, I don't know, there's one or two songs in here. I just can't remember the title, but there's a few songs in here that are really worth checking out. And let's see. Yeah, last but not least, Donnie Harrison. He's plugging the hell out of this one. It's actually getting some airplay. Inner Standing. Surprisingly, it doesn't sound anything like George Harrison, except for maybe one or two songs, has a George Harrison influence. It's the big hit, or should be a hit, is ICU, which is about George, about his, I think he's talking to his dad on that one. It's ICU, really good. The other songs, I don't know, if I was more of a younger adult starting to get into this stuff, it might be cooler, but I'm older and I have a different ear, so I'm trying to get used to the new songs, but it's kind of like, I don't know, a little bit synthesizer-ish. If that's a word, I don't know. Okay, we're running about 8 minutes, a couple more things. Guy from Rochester. You probably know him if you've ever seen the High Risers. Todd Bradley with his Cerulean Dreams. I bring him up because he's playing drums for this guy who's on a tour, I guess. Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Gary Lewis, yep, son of Jerry Lewis. Out on his own. Here's another greatest hits. It's an older greatest hits. Let's see the back of that one. It's so hard to see with that blur. But Todd Bradley's drumming him up, and he had a couple of YouTube videos with him. You could hear it, just had the audio of him playing with Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Gary Lewis, of course, he moved to Henrietta, New York. Now he's in Pittsford, I think, and he still lives near Rochester somewhere. He was interviewed for a whole lot of shaking. I think we had a telephone interview or something like that. When we did that, when Mike Murray did that show. And speaking of Mike Murray and other shows, I showed this list before, but I added a couple more. These are people that are into the Beatles big time, but they do other music stuff, and sometimes they do interviews. Let's see if I can read them off. We got Mean Mr. Mayo, like Mean Mr. Mustard, Beetle Brad, Matthew Street, Pop Goes the 60s, Andrew Dixon, Rick Beato, who's a Rochester resident at one time. He might still live here, or his relatives live here. Norman Masloff, Sea of Tranquility. Sea of Tranquility. Sea of Tranquility actually did a review of one of our Rochester-based bands not too long ago. It's in this. You have to look it up. Let's see, we got John Heaton, Beatley Tones Beatles channel, Jeff Jarema, I believe. He's a writer and talks about his CD collection A through Z. It sort of got me the idea. Whole Lot of Shakin' on WRUR-FM as well as WITH in Ithaca, I believe. And the last one, I don't know the spelling too well. It's Einerson Remembers. He does a lot of Beatles stuff, but he does all different things too. Einerson Remembers. And aside from these guys, you probably could look up Greg Prevost on his channel if he has one there. He does his old songs as well as I think some reviews of stuff. I'm not sure. I have to invest time in that one. But they're all on either YouTube or on the radio. You can catch a couple of these guys on the radio as well as YouTube. And I think that's it for today. Am I done here? Yeah, I guess I am. I was going to do one on The Office. Creed Brayton, who was also in the Grassroots. But I'll save that for next time. And that'll be it for today. I hope I'm not too loud. I'm going to try to find another microphone so I can kind of tone it down a bit. But this is number 13, which I forgot to do from 14. So it's a little bit before 14 then. Alright, well, have a good day. We'll see ya.